Clare Morgan felt the air shift the moment she stepped inside the old Tennessee rental house, as if something unseen woke up the second she crossed the threshold. Her parents loved the quiet countryside, but Clare felt watched from every corner. The elderly owner kept staring at her with watery eyes as she handed over the keys and whispered, "Never open the basement door, no matter what you hear." That warning kept replaying in Clare's mind, especially when she heard heavy footsteps beneath the floorboards that night. Slow, dragging, too deliberate to be old pipes or settling wood. Her little brother said he saw a tall man standing at the bottom of the stairs, staring up at him. Nobody believed him until Clare saw the same figure reflected in the dark TV screen behind her. The hallway lights flickered, shadows crawled across the walls as though they were alive, and the basement door rattled like something trapped inside wanted out. When Clare touched the handle, she felt vibrations, faint, rhythmic, almost like breathing, deep.
Scratches covered the wood from the inside, each mark fresh. Whatever was down, there wasn't just waiting. It already knew her name, and it wanted her. 3 slow knocks echoed from the basement door at 3:11, shaking Clare awake with a jolt of fear so sharp she couldn't breathe. Her father dismissed it as old houses making noise, but the knocks kept returning. Always 3, always followed by a whisper so soft yet unmistakably real. "Clare!" It came from behind the door. Ignoring the owner's warning, Clare slid the rusted basement key into the lock. The stench of damp earth and something rotten spilled upward as the door creaked open an inch. She lowered her phone's flashlight, revealing a staircase swallowed in blackness. The beam caught dozens of children's drawings tacked to the walls, each one showing the same tall, faceless figure looming over a child's bed. A sudden cold hand grabbed her ankle from the darkness below. Clare screamed and kicked free, slamming the door shut as the creature's nails scraped violently across the other side. The entire door shuddered as if something massive slammed into it. Her phone lit up with a notification she didn't open because the screen reflected a face behind her. She spun, but nothing was there. She realized the basement wasn't just holding something, it was feeding it. The more Clare researched Hollow Creek's past, the more her fear grew into panic. 3 children had vanished 20 years earlier, all from the same house her family now occupied. The old newspaper she uncovered at the sheriff's office described them as bright kids with vivid imaginations, but their last belongings told another story. Their case files held copies of their drawings, identical to the ones Clare found in the basement. Same figure, same long limbs, same hollow face, and the same basement staircase drawn over and over. When she showed the files to the sheriff, he refused to meet her eyes and abruptly ended the conversation. Locals whispered that the house took those children, but nobody dared speak openly. When Clare rushed home, she heard her little brother whispering at the basement door. His tiny voice trembled as he said, "I hear them, the kids there calling me." The door creaked open an inch on its own, a cold breeze rushing out like the house exhaled. Clare grabbed her brother's arm, but he resisted, his eyes staring blankly at the darkness below. That's when she saw a pale hand emerge from the shadows behind him. The children weren't missing. They were waiting. The basement door opened wider with a long, agonizing groan, revealing nothing but a thick, pulsing darkness that felt alive. Clare yanked her brother away just as slender, icy fingers curled around the top step. The hallway lights burst, plunging them into blackness. Something tall crawled out, its limbs bending backward, its spine crackling with every unnatural movement. It stayed just out of sight, lurking in the corners, slipping into vents, scratching along walls. When Clare told her parents, they insisted she was exhausted, imagining things. But they heard it too that night, the dragging footsteps pacing above their bedroom, moving in slow, deliberate circles.
Clare barely slept. At 2 a.m., she found her father sleepwalking toward the basement door, whispering in a child's voice that didn't belong to him. "I have to go back. They need me." Clare grabbed him before he reached the stairs. He woke screaming, claiming he saw faces in the floor. The house wasn't just haunted, it was controlling them one by one. Shadows clung to corners, and the air grew colder by the hour. Clare realized something horrifying. The house didn't want all of them. It only wanted her, and it was using her family as bait. Clare decided the only choice was to get her family out. But the moment she reached for the front door, it slammed shut so violently the window shook. She tried every door and window, but each one locked itself the second she touched it. The entire house shifted, groaning.
Like it was alive, walls quietly rearranging to trap her deeper inside. The hallway stretched longer, doors led to unfamiliar rooms. The house was becoming a maze designed to keep her in and everyone else out. A whisper followed her through the vents. "You opened the door. You belong to us now." Clare crawled into the attic for answers and found a dusty wooden box filled with Polaroids. Each photo showed the missing children standing in the hallways, sitting on the stairs, staring straight into the camera with expressionless eyes. In the final photo, a bony hand rested on a child's shoulder. Clare felt that same hand press lightly against her back. She spun, but nothing was there, only dust swirling in the beam of her flashlight. The attic floorboards trembled under her feet as something massive crawled underneath. The house wasn't just keeping her prisoner, it was hunting her. A strange bulge in the living room carpet led Clare to peel it back, uncovering a square wooden trapdoor she had never seen before. Beneath it lay a narrow tunnel carved into dirt, stretching into the Tennessee woods. She crawled inside, her phone flashlight flickering against hundreds of tiny handprints imprinted into the soil walls. Farther in, soft whimpers echoed ahead. When she reached the end, her heart dropped. The missing children were there, alive but pale, with sunken cheeks and blackened eyes that seemed hollow yet aware. They whispered in perfect unison, "Help us." Clare tried pulling one boy toward the exit, but the moment she touched him, all the children shrieked with a bones bleeding sound that shook the tunnel walls. Their screams weren't human. The creature that guarded them slithered into view, a tall shape with a stitched face made from multiple children's features. It whispered, "They belong to me." Clare scrambled backward as it lunged, grabbing her ankle with cold fingers. She kicked free and crawled as fast as she could, hearing the children's whispers chasing her through the tunnel. She now understood the truth. The house didn't just take children, it preserved them for something far worse. The creature cornered Clare in the dirt tunnel, its voice echoing through the ground itself, like the house was speaking through it. Every time it opened its mouth, the voices of the missing children spilled out, crying, begging, whispering her name. It told her the truth. The house demanded a sacrifice every generation, choosing one person to bind itself to. That chosen one was always drawn to the basement door, always unable to resist opening it, always destroyed. Clare realized she had been marked the moment she arrived. The creature offered her a choice: return to the children below and take one of their places, or watch her family be taken instead. The walls of the tunnel began closing in, dirt collapsing around her, as if the house itself wanted her decision. Clare clawed her way upward toward the trapdoor, lungs burning, fingers numb. When she emerged into the living room, the house roared, lights exploding, furniture sliding violently across the floor. Her brother screamed from the hallway as the shadows pulled at his legs. Clare made her choice. She grabbed her father's old gasoline can, her hands shaking. The house wanted a sacrifice. She planned to give it fire instead. The house shook violently as Claire poured gasoline across the floors, the walls, the basement door. Every step she took made the creature howl from below. The air grew thick, the lights flickered, and the temperature dropped until frost coated the windows. The house slammed doors in her face, trying to trap her, trying to force her downstairs. Claire struck the match anyway. Flames roared to life instantly, racing along the wooden floorboards like they had been waiting years to burn. The creature crawled out of the basement, its stitched face twisting in rage, its long limbs scraping sparks from the walls. It lunged at her, but the fire swallowed it, its shrieks shaking the entire structure. Claire crashed through a window as the house collapsed behind her, flames shooting into the night sky. As she crawled across the grass, coughing, she saw ghostly shapes, children standing beside her, freed at last. They whispered, "Thank you," before fading away. Weeks later, Claire returned to the site to find something impossible. The house rebuilt, standing perfectly intact, with a new "For Rent" sign staked in the yard. The basement door had new scratches, and from inside she heard 3 knocks.